Hello everyone, welcome to Level Change channel again. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real Boeing 777 pilot, and today we are going to fly the 737 from Amsterdam to Brussels. I just realized that instead of selecting the KLM livery for this flight, I selected the Ryanair livery for this flight. But I'm not going to change this now, as it doesn't change anything in our procedures apart from the livery outside of the airplane. For this live stream today, I'm going to use an application called FSiPanel. I really recommend this application. It basically helps you to set up any approach very easy for you to train your landings. Okay, so you just have to load your MSFS in the airport that you want, or even any other one, because you can even move your airplane around the world, and you can select where you want to be to train your landing. From the final, from the downwind, from vectors, or even from the arrival. So it's up to you. But the pro version of this application, FSiPanel, also allows you to participate and fly some training scenarios. And today I'm going to do this training scenario. So this flight from Amsterdam to Brussels, you are going to hear to the FSiPanel as ATC, and we are going to comply with its instructions to fly from here, Amsterdam, then to Brussels. There is something that I'm expecting to this scenario, to have a different type of approach in our arrival, even though it's pre-selected to have ILS 25 left. It seems like that the new version of FSiPanel on these training scenarios can even give you different types of approach. So let's see what we have for today. Okay, I just want to make sure that this stream is live. So let me just use my mobile phone here to go to my channel and see. Yep, looks like I am live, and there are two people watching this live stream right now. I will try to follow you through the comments here on my mobile, because I do not have a second monitor for this live stream today, so I have to do everything from only one screen here in the computer. Okay, so before we start the flight, while we wait more people to join us, I'm going to show you Navigraph. So now you have Navigraph on your screen, and we are going to talk about this flight. So I'm just going to activate the airplane right now. So we are at position Delta 27 here in Amsterdam, and we have a flight expected to depart 18 left on CUDA 2 Echo departure, woody transition. So how do I select this one again? Let's see, CUDA 2 Echo departure. Here we go. So this is CUDA 2 Echo departure. That's what I'm expecting to do today. So we have a low transition altitude, is 3,000 feet. So we do an immediate takeoff, and we remain on tower frequency until 2,000 feet. Then we contact departure, which is frequency 119.055. The airport elevation is actually below sea level by 11 feet, and we climb straight ahead at 500 feet. We turn left to Alpha Mike 073. Then we turn right to Leco, right again to CUDA, then the same heading to Woody. Initial climb clearance is flight level 60, so very straightforward departure here for this CUDA 2 Echo. We are expecting in Amsterdam So this is departure that goes all the way to Woody, and in Brussels we are expecting the Woody 8 arrival. Okay, so the Woody 8 arrival, this is the arrival. Let's see the chart itself. So the chart itself says that we have RNAV 1, we need to be RNAV 1, and radar vector may be expected when crossing 30 miles from Bravo Uniform Bravo VOR. Bravo Uniform Bravo is Brussels VOR, so when you are within 30 miles of Brussels, you may expect vectors. There are, of course, some speed restriction. Aircraft being radar vector shall reduce speed to maximum 250 at 30 miles from Bravo Uniform Bravo, or when below 110. So if we are above flight level 100, but already within 30 miles, we have to reduce speed to 250 if we are on the radar vectors. If we are not on the radar vectors, if we are following the arrival, we keep flying the arrival. So we are going to be flying from Woody to Bravo Romeo 202, and then to Bravo Romeo 202, and then Bravo Romeo 203, and then Antwerp VOR. So I'm expecting to fly an ILS from Antwerp VOR. The ILS is the ILS 25 left so far. So this is the ILS that we are expecting from the Antwerp VOR. We go towards Bruno VOR, and then right 203 to intercept the final from Giknu. The altitudes that we have: 3000 by Bruno or above, then 2000 by Giknu, and then 2000 or above, and then it's mandatory to be at 2000 at Bravo 25 Lima Foxtrot. So this is basically a point on the runway 25 Lima at 6 miles from the runway. That's why we have Foxtrot. The Foxtrot is the 6th letter of our alphabet, so that's why we have Foxtrot. Then we cross the outer market around 1420 feet on a 3-degree glide slope, going down to our minimums for Cat 1 350, which is 200 feet above airport elevation. So the runway airport elevation is 175, but this runway 155 is the touchdown zone. The highest elevation at touchdown zone, runway 25 left. In case of missed approach, we climb straight ahead 700 feet with maximum 185 knots. We fly heading 105, climbing to 4000, and then as directed. So basically we climb to 700 feet, we turn left 105, and then we expect the radar vectors or as directed by ATC. Arriving in Brussels. For arrival in Brussels, I'm not going to use the standard chart. I'm going to use the moving map here. So I'm expecting to land 25 left. The best option for us is to vacate passing runway 0119, so we don't have to cross the runway. So we continue until we have Charlie 5 and we vacate via Charlie 5. If we miss Charlie 5, we go Charlie 6, and also there is the option at the end of the runway. The important thing here is that in Brussels they call outer taxiway and they call inner taxiway here close to the apron. Okay, so all around the apron they call outer taxiway and inner taxiway. They didn't really specify a name for this taxiway. Actually the name is inner and outer, different from the other ones that use alphabet letters. So I'm expecting Charlie 5 and then taxi here to the main terminal somewhere. So this is our plan for today's flight. Okay, and we have here Sergio Augusto da Silva. Say hello, Captain, nice to see you again. Why you have this not used in this runway in Navigraph? Good question. He's referring to something like this one, this not used. This not used is because a couple of options here for the airport. If we go to Amsterdam information, you are going to see that it's taking the VATSIM 80s and the departure runway is 18 center. Okay, as I selected 18 left because it's closer to the point that I am, it's telling me that if I was going to fly VATSIM, this is not used. Okay, Pilot Edge, iVail, and the real 80s are not available, so it just use VATSIM. Okay, that's why you have not used. It's the same thing if we go for info here, runways. Okay, so it says which runways are in use, which runways are not in use. In this case it says not used, and then it says runway 27 is being used for arrival and 28 center is being used for departure. Okay, so this is based once again on these 80s here from weather. Where is weather? 80s from VATSIM. Okay, that's why. Arnom is also here. Hey Fonseca, flying online? No, today I'm going to be using FSiPanel to perform this flight here from Amsterdam to Brussels. Let's see if we have, I don't think we're going to have any kind of failure for this flight today. But there is always this option when we are using FSiPanel. Okay, so let's jump into our sim right now. Basically, FSiPanel prepared everything for me. Okay, so I don't have to worry about anything. The first thing that I need to do, going inside the cockpit, and I'm going just to come here to my OBS studio because I want you to listen to the computer. Okay, so from now you should be listening to Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, and everything that I'm here on my headphones as well. Okay, so with this in mind, we go again, and a couple of things that we need to do with FSiPanel. When we are on frequency 123.45, we can hear to the 80s. So first thing that I'm going to do today is hear the 80s for Amsterdam. So let's do it together. I don't know if you are not listening to it.
Runway 18 left. Main landing runway 18.
Now you are. Okay, so I'm going to wait to start again so we can copy together these 80s, and then I talk to you about these 80s soon. Okay,
transition level flight level 40. Acknowledge received Amsterdam departure information Delta on first contact.
Okay, so this is Amsterdam information Delta. Let's see, let's copy now.
Amsterdam departure information Delta. Main departure runway 18 left. Main landing runway 18 right. Wind 210 degrees at 4 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Cloud scattered 4,000 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 10. Dew point 6. QNH 1019er. Transition level flight level 40. Acknowledge received Amsterdam departure information Delta on first contact.
Okay, so what we got here was Amsterdam information Delta, runway 18 left for departure, 18 right for arrival, wind is 210 degrees 4 knots, visibility more than 10 kilometers, scattered clouds at 4,000 and 8,000 feet, temperature is 10 degrees, QNH 1019. Even the QNH is already preset by the FSiPanel. Okay, so now we have the 80s. We can request ATC clearance. Okay, so one thing that I already asked FSiPanel to do to me is to select the next frequency on standby. So because I'm going to be flying together, that's something that the first officer would be doing anyway. Okay, so we are on the Amsterdam delivery frequency. Let's call Amsterdam, tell them that we have information Delta and we request ATC clearance to Brussels. So here we go. I have a button on my joystick to talk to ATC. Okay, it just emulate that I'm talking and I'm going to get the same reply if I say bullshit or not. Okay, so you don't really have to know how to talk to ATC, but at least you get an ATC response, and then you can start practicing. Okay, so Amsterdam delivery. Hello, KLM 61 Alpha with information Delta. Request ATC clearance to Brussels.
KLM 61 Alpha delivery. Hello, you're clear to Brussels House 5, runway 18 and left, Kudat to Echo departure, squawk 1246.
Roger, KLM 61 Alpha is clear to Brussels. As filed, runway 18 left, Kudat to Echo departure and squawk 1246.
KLM 61 Alpha readback is correct. When ready for push, contact ground 121.805. Have a nice day.
Thank you. When ready, 121.805. KLM 61 Alpha. Bye-bye. So now, as you can see, 121.805 is already here. I'm going to change to 121.805, and I'm going to prepare this airplane for departure. So everything is closed. Our MCP is complete. So the before start here is... Actually, I can even use some lights right now. Yeah. So fuel pumps, they are on. Seat belts on. Electrical hydraulic pumps on. And anti-collision light on. And our engine parameters here. And transponder, that's something that we have to do. We got on the clearance 1, 2, 4, 6. So 1, 2, 4, 6 is set, and our transponder is on. So at this stage we can get before start checklist. So before start checklist, flight deck door closed and locked. Fuel, we have 5,000 kilograms pumps on. Passenger signs on. Windows locked. MCP V2 148 heading 182, altitude flight level 60. Takeoff speed V1 144, VR 145, and V2 148. CDU pre-flight completed. Rudder and aileron trim, they are 3 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Anti-collision light on. Before start checklist complete. Okay, so let's go ground for push and start. Amsterdam ground. Hello, KLM 61 Alpha. Ready for push and start. We are at Delta 27.
KLM 61 Alpha, ground NO, push and start approved, facing east.
Pushback and start approved, facing east, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so from now on, we'll get GSX, and we are going to continue pushback. So we need at this position, if we're going to face east, we need tail right, nose left. Yeah, so tail right, nose left.
Release parking brakes, please.
So
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
okay, so let's start. I'm changing here the visual just to take packs off, and engine number 2 to ground. So pushback is going on. As you can see, and let's start our right engine. There we go. But this was supposed to be a KLM livery, as I told you before. My mistake, I didn't change to the KLM. I'm still with Ryanair livery. Here we have too many information. I don't want station and I don't want data. Now we can start engine number 2. On this side, yeah, station is there and data is there. I don't want it. Too much information. There we go. This goes to FMC. We set parking brake, so brakes and parking brake.
Confirmation for a good engine start.
Okay, so I'm going already tell them we had a good engine start because it takes time for them to leave.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
No sounds from sim. Okay. It says Mateus Diniz. Are you listening to GSX and FSiPanel at least? Only your voice and FSiPanel. Okay. So let me see what I can do here. Okay, the computer is not.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, most probably now you can hear the sim, okay? Thank you, Mateus Diniz. Here we are going to continue. Let me know if it didn't solve the problem, okay? So, both engines, they are started. So we select today we depart with flaps 1 and generators on. Probe heat on, PAX auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed off, APU off, engine start switch continuous, recall, engine parameters, and we are pretty much ready. So we can do before taxi checklist. Generators on, probe heat on, anti-ice off, isolation valve auto, engine start switches continuous, recall checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers idle detent, flight controls check, and ground equipment clear before taxi checklist complete. So yeah, you're listening GSX, myself, and FSiPanel. Good. Yeah. Now the sim sound is there. Thank you so much. Thanks for your help, Mateus. Okay, so we are ready to taxi. We can call ATC and tell them that we can taxi. KLM 61 Alpha, request taxi.
KLM 61 Alpha, taxi Alpha 9, Bravo, all short of Alpha 12.
Taxi via Alpha 9, Bravo, hold short, Alpha 12, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so just for you to understand and also for me to be on the same page as you guys, I'm going to show you, and we go slowly here because there is no online ATC. We are using FSiPanel. I'm going to brief you on these taxiways. So basically what I'm doing, let's take our airplane again. So our airplane now is here on Alpha 9 Charlie. Okay, on the center of Alpha 9. So we are clear to taxi via Alpha 9. So we go straight ahead Alpha 9 until we join Bravo. Alpha is the first, so we take Bravo is the second. As departure runway is 18 left, I assume that we take left on Bravo and then we hold short Alpha 12. Let's figure out where is Alpha 12. Alpha 10 here. And here is Alpha 12. Okay, so Alpha 12 to the left and Echo 4 to the right. So we have to stop before Alpha 12. And something that happens in Amsterdam, because I did a real flight there with the 777, we were here on the Pier F and we taxi out via Alpha. Yeah, we taxi out via Alpha here and then we join Bravo. So by the time we were joining Bravo, ATC asked us if we were able to depart Echo 5, okay? So a lot of people, they depart from Echo 5. In that case, they don't need to go via November 2 all the way cross runway. This runway is 27, so they don't need to cross runway 27 and take off full length. So with this performance that we have with the 737, is good enough for us to take Echo 5 in case we need to do it today. Okay, I don't know how the FSiPanel is going to handle this, but let's see. So let's go back to the sim, and here we go. So we can take our dome light off, turn on our taxi light, brakes released, and here we go. Here we go. FSiPanel is doing the ATC. Yes, Sergio, FSiPanel is doing the ATC. So everything that you are listening from ATC that I'm reading back is from FSiPanel. Okay, so FSiPanel is doing this in the Pro version, and this is a training scenario. Usually training scenario is designed to give you failures and for you to deal with it, but actually FSiPanel even improved, and now it's giving you these ATC clearances as well. Okay, so this is taxiway Alpha that we are crossing, and we are going to take left here on Bravo. We are a little bit fast for this turn, but not a big problem as the airplane loses energy on the ground in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so we'll be now looking for Alpha 12 to the left, which is the same as Echo 4 to the right. And then let's see what ATC tells us as we approach this position. Oh, by the way, I'm going to remove my camera, so where we are here, so you can see only the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so this is not Echo 4, I'm sure, because it's coming from the right two taxiways. So this is Alpha 10. The next one should be...
Are you able to depart from Echo 5?
Oh, okay, so he's asking if we are able to depart from Echo 5. Affirm, we can accept Echo 5, KLM 61 Alpha.
Roger, KLM 61 Alpha, taxi Echo 5, hold short of runway 18 left, and contact tower 119er decimal 230. Have a nice day.
Roger, via Echo 5, we hold short 18 left, the tower 119 decimal 230, KLM 61 Alpha, bye-bye. Okay, so yeah, Echo 5, I told him we were able. Actually, when this, I didn't know, but I got a pop-up here asking me to reply with yes or no for this option on Echo 5, okay? So basically, I have to reply, and I also have to click then on the answer that I want, okay? So... is there other traffics flying around? No, there is not, because my Microsoft Flight Simulator are turning off all the real traffic and the multiplayer, okay? So I never see anybody around. Okay, so I'm flying alone, but I'm pretty sure FSiPanel will not deal with other traffics, okay? So this is just for me. As I'm approaching the holding point here, I'm going to reduce and change to tower frequency. Skipper, hello, KLM 61 Alpha, holding point 18 left at Echo, ready for departure.
KLM 61 Alpha Tower, hello, runway 18 left, intersection Echo 5, line up and wait.
Intersection Echo 5, runway 18 left, line up and wait, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so we got line up and wait. So I'm going just to turn on the turn off lights, strobe lights, and my transponder. Oh, I missed the before takeoff checklist. Okay, so we can do it now. Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist says flaps 1 green light and stabilizer trim 5.2 units. Before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, so let's line up and wait. Hello Fonseca, says Rubens Paiva, the second member of this channel today. Thank you Rubens, thank you Sergio for being here and supporting this channel as always. Okay, so we are approaching now the runway. And I'm having a problem. I don't know why this is using.
KLM 61 Alpha, wind calm, runway 18 left, clear for takeoff, passing 2000 feet, contact departure, 119.055.
Clear for takeoff, 18 left, passing 2000 feet, 119.055, KLM 61 Alpha, bye bye. Okay, so I don't know why I still have my speed brake. So here we go. Let's take the center line, 40%, and take off. White toga is not there. Let me do it from here. N1 toga. There we go. Oh, and landing lights. Yep, I forgot the landing lights. Here we go. Checked. Gear up, LNAV, and let's fly. Hey, we are reaching 500 feet. Left turn, VNAV speed. There is a noise abatement departure here. So we maintain 1000, we are accelerating. Okay, so autopilot on now, command, and we can retract flaps to up, heading to the left, we do have flaps now up, no light. We are about to reach 2000 feet, so we need to change to departure. Skip all departure. Hello, KLM 61 Alpha, 2000, climbing flight level 60.
KLM 61 Alpha, departure hello, identified, continue climb, flight level 80.
Continue climb, flight level 80, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so 80, here we go. 80 is there. We keep turning right. I forgot weather radar, that doesn't work anyway. Okay, that's our departure, and transition set standard. So flap up, no light. We can do our after takeoff checklist. Engine start switch also to off, and our after takeoff checklist states engine bleeds, they are on, packs auto, landing gear up and off, flap up, no lights. After takeoff checklist complete. Here we go. So Fonseca says, Ruben, in reality, what direction do you use for the plane to travel on the yellow taxi line? What do you look at? Rubens, I do look straight forward. It's very simple. Especially on the 777. It's a big airplane, so I'm almost at the center of the airplane, so I don't have something that I keep looking at, especially because
KLM 61 Alpha, contact Amsterdam 125.75. Have a safe flight.
125.75 KLM 61 Alpha. Bye bye. 125.75. There we go. Amsterdam, hello, KLM 61 Alpha, reaching flight level 80.
KLM 61 Alpha identified, climb flight on 130, final today for you and proceed direct to Woody.
130, we climb and direct to Woody, KLM 61 Alpha. So let's, oops, this one, let's go here, 130 on the altitude, and then altitude intervention, and 1 VNAV speed, and we get direct to Woody. Woody direct, execute, and here we're flying right towards Woody. So on the 777, especially on the 300, we do have the taxi camera. So initially when I was learning how to taxi the plane, I was having a look on the camera always, and then I could position the nose wheel exactly on the center line, and then I was get used to that situation, so I knew that that was the center line for the airplane. If I had to say, because I don't think about it, but maybe if I had to say, I would say it's like on the right side when we are flying as a first officer, the leg should be the line should be on top of your left leg. Okay, and if you are on the left side as a captain, the taxiway center line should be on your right leg, more or less. Okay, and if you are looking straight ahead, this would be something like on the in between your PFD and your navigation display or something like that. Okay, but I do not have a specific position in the cockpit to look at. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe you can do it on the sim, something like this. Okay, we just crossed 10,000 feet, so seat belts, lights, and logo light also off. Okay, actually I'm not sure if my lights they are off. Yeah, they were not, now they are. Okay, so maybe on your sim, go outside, put your airplane on the center line, and then look how it is, how it looks like, and try to do always the same. Mateus Diniz, nice voices on FSiPanel. Yeah, he used some some Dutch people to record it. It was really nice. Are you flying on any network, IV or VATSIM? No, I'm using FSiPanel. FSiPanel, okay? So let's listen to the 80s in Brussels.
Or more. Clouds scattered 4,000 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet.
Hey, let's wait until it starts again.
QNH1019er. This is Brussels Information Mike. Landing runway 25 left. ILS approach. Departure runway 25 right. Wind 220 degrees at 5 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Clouds scattered 4,000 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 10. Dew point 8. QNH1019er. Transition level flight level 50. Acknowledge received. Brussels Information Mike on first contact.
Okay, so for this one today, not a big change. Something that we can do just to see how FSiPanel handles it. We do an ILS runway 25 left, but we do a go around today. Okay, let's do a go around and let's see if we get a different approach today.
Contact the Brussels arrival 118.255.
118.255. KLM 61 Alpha. Bye bye. Brussels, hello, KLM 61 Alpha, information Mike, flight level 130 inbound Woody.
KLM 61 Alpha, Brussels arrival, hello, descend, flight 11110, proceed direct Bruno VOR, this is Bravo Uniform November, and you are number 1 for the ILS 25 left.
Descent flight level 110 direct to Bravo Uniform November and expect ILS 25 left, KLM 61 Alpha. So let's do it. So we have to descend now. So 11,000 and I can do an altitude intervention. And now we fly direct to Bravo Uniform November. We execute and we are flying Bravo Uniform November now. So basically I'm just going to show you the Navigraph chart for this flight. Let me find here the ILS. So we have to select 110.35, find approach course 249 and minimums of 350. Okay, so this is the approach that we have. 11035, 249 and 350. Okay, so let's do this on the sim. 11035, 11035, 249, retard and VNFF, so 249 here. It's a very long runway there. We can use auto brake 2. Okay, yeah, 2 is enough. And
KLM 61 Alpha, descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1019er, be leveled by Bruno VOR.
4,000 feet to be leveled by Bruno VOR, QNH 1019, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so now what we have to do is to select Bruno at 4,000 feet. That's something that he wants. 4,000 or below, at least. And we are clear to go down to 4,000. So VNAV speed, idle, 4,000 is set. 1019 we are going to preset. 1019, yeah, here we go. We are a little bit high. We are going to think about it in a second. Seat belts on, is a short flight. Lights on. Okay, so auto brake is going to be 3, and the final thing that we have to do is to select our landing flaps 30. Okay, so flaps 30, 144, 149. With this in mind, we can do descent checklist. So descent checklist states for pressurization landing altitude is set to 200 feet. Recall checked, auto brake 2, landing data VREF 31, 44 and minimas. Oh, I didn't select the minimas. I briefed, but I didn't select. So let's do it now. 350. So minimums baro 350 and approach briefing is completed. Okay, so now we are descending 4,000 feet. We can select 1019 and we can do approach checklist. Approach checklist altimeter 1019 set and cross checked. Approach checklist complete. And descent here we are 1,700 feet high. So speed brake. First, yeah, let's do it. So speed brake to go back to the path. Hola Claudio, hello! Guys, now you can see JP from FSiPanel. He's here just to see how this is working today. I didn't tell him that I was going to do this live stream, but it's very nice to see him around. And this is the first time I'm actually trying FSiPanel training scenario with a push to talk button. Actually, it's something that I didn't like because I was hoping to select the PTT button on the keyboard. I couldn't do it, so I didn't find a way. So I had to deselect my flaps on my joystick here. Because it's a very old joystick that I bring on my layovers. So I deselect the flaps options on the joystick. I'm using F6 and F7 on my keyboard to do the flaps, and then I'm using these buttons for the PTT and the say again function. Okay, but apart from this, it's doing very, very good so far. So he says, I was browsing YouTube and saw your stream. Nice. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for this lovely and incredible application. It's really, really good. I'm going to do more videos. I'm going to fly more. I will try to do all the scenarios. I just noticed that we have a lot of scenarios now. Actually, I'm following everything on Discord, but I didn't have time to test them, and I'm going to do on this layover now here in Chicago, as I have a day off. I already went to the city, and now I'm done with the place. I'm just going to be on the computer, try to create this broadcast and some recordings for you, some videos. I'm going to also fly FSiPanel, let's say not in a live broadcast, so I can then leave the videos to you later on. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Remember, guys, we're going to do a go around. I hope the go around works for this scenario here, because I noticed that there is this option now. So we are with VNAV PEF and retracting speed brake. Okay, so we are going to reach 4,000 by Bruno. It's a low altitude for this position, so that's why I'm not really worried about the speed. We're going to have enough time to reduce the speed, and by this time we should be already with the dome light off. Yep, now looks much better. Just for your information, GA is not handling this scenario. You could get two other approaches. It's randomly selected. Next one will handle. Ah, okay, I got it. So we do not have, sorry guys, we do not have go around for this one. This is another scenario that I...
61 Alpha, fly heading 150, descend 3,000 feet and reduce speed 220 knots RS.
Heading 150, 3,000 and speed 220, KLM 61 Alpha. So heading cell 150, level change, speed 220, and we are clear to 3,000 feet. Okay, so there is no go around on this scenario. Thanks God JP just came here to tell us this. So I'm going to do a full stop landing and taxi to the gate. Okay, I really want to try one with the go around. So I will try to look in the community there on the Discord which one includes a go around, and I will try next time one with a go around, and today we just complete the landing. I wanted to get a different approach from the one that it was briefed in the beginning, but anyway, we got 2.5 left ILS, which is the very standard actually in Brussels. If I was going to fly Brussels with this weather, 220 at 5, I was going to get an ILS 2.5 left or 2.5 right, but ILS for sure. The last scenario in Brazil, LATAM 3910 from São Paulo to Rio handles the go around. Okay, so that one we have to do it. It's in Brazil, it's in my home country. And connecting São Paulo to...
Falcon right heading 210, intercept localizer 25 left, stand by for approach guns.
Right heading 210, we are clear to intercept localizer 25 left, stand by approach clearance, KLM 61 Alpha. 210, so heading 210 for now. ILS frequency is 11035. India Bravo Lima 249 is already identified. Yep, so we can arm localizer for now. Our next point is Giknu. we are going to cross over GICNU with the guidance of the VOR, so I'm not going to update my FMC. There is no need for now. Me gusta RN, opa comando, obrigado pela presença, canal Me gusta RN. So here we are approaching now Brussels. I'm not really worried about the speed, as I told you, because I'm low on the approach. Very nice views. I just forgot to change the KLM livery. Sorry guys, we still have Ryanair here, even though we are flying as KLM today. So localizer is already alive, now it's capture. Localizer heading is 249 and we are still waiting for the approach clearance to intercept glide and go down. There we go. I see the runway in front of us. The right one is also visible there.
Descend at 2,000 feet and you are cleared IRS 25 left, minimum speed 160 knots to 4 miles.
160 to 4, descend 2,000, clear IRS 25 left, KLM 61 Alpha. Okay, so 2,000 feet, I go on vertical speed and I go 500 feet per minute. I don't need more than that. Approach mode is there. And I have to maintain minimum 160 to 4. Okay, something that I'm going to do really quick now. Runway 25 left, fix, /4 miles. So this is the point that we need to reduce. As we are approaching 2,000 feet, I'm going to start reducing. Flap up speed. Descending 500 feet per minute, flaps 1. So he said minimum, okay, so I can even maintain more, but minimum. So this is enough for me. So flaps 1, it is there.
6 contact tower, 118.605.
118.605, KLM 61 Alpha, bye bye. Flaps 5. Glide slope capture, missed approach today is 4,000. So 4,000. Tower. Brussels Tower, KLM 61 Alpha, ILS 25 left.
KLM 61 Alpha Tower, hello.
Gear down.
Number 2. Speed 160 knots to 4 miles. Expect direct landing clearance.
Continue approach, 160 to 4, KLM 61 Alpha. Now flaps 15. We can reduce to 160, no more than 160. Arm the speed brake and take the engine start switch to continuous. Here we are. Flaps 25. Now we are 4.5 miles to the runway, 4.4, we're still maintaining 160 knots. Four miles, we can reduce to VREF and set our flaps 30. We can take now landing checklist. The landing checklist states engine start switch continuous, speed brake army, landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light, landing checklist complete, 1000, stable.
KLM 61 Alpha, wind is calm, runway 25 left, clear to land and vacate right via Charlie 4.
Clear to land, vacate right via Charlie 4, KLM 61 Alpha. Charlie 4, I'm just going to check which one is Charlie 4. If I do have time. I do not have time anymore and I don't remember Charlie 4, so I'm going to get brake 3 just in case. And here we go. So first thing is the auto throttle off, then autopilot off.
500.
I do not see
400.
my instruments really well. I'm flying on my laptop, so this is not enough. But anyway, we will be flying the ILS down to the runway.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Little bit to the right, little bit firm, idle reverse. Everything because it's a live stream, right? So I think Charlie 4 is the next one. So manual brakes. So something that I'm going to do right now.
Kilo level 61 Alpha.
Yeah.
Runway 01 about Charlie 4, and on the other side, ground 121.880. Bye bye.
Cross via Charlie 4, runway 01, and then 121.880. KLM 61 Alpha. Yeah, so if it told us to cross the runway, that is because this is Charlie 4, because that's the only way we are going to cross the runway. Okay, so we are crossing the runway, we go straight ahead, and then we call the ramp, the ground. So this is the runway. In real life, we were going to confirm both pilots that this is the correct one. Okay, and I'm going only to stop after the yellow lights, but as I'm alone today, I'm going to ask here for FSiPanel to do the after landing flow for me. Just worked. And contact ground 121.880. Brussels ground, KLM 61 Alpha, we are on Echo 3.
KLM 61 Alpha ground, hello, taxi Echo 3, inner 9, Tango, and your gate is 237. Have a good day.
Roger, we taxi via Echo 3, inner 9, Tango, gate 237. KLM 61 Alpha, bye-bye. Okay, outer is the first, inner is the second. Another thing that I'm going to do, I notice on the documentation it says that 237 is actually, let me see here on the documentation, 38. So 38 is the gate by Asobo. So we get 38, follow me, no, and we go with Belgian Airport Services. So this is the inner. Okay, so this is the inner. I'm going to turn right here on the inner taxiway. Okay, inner taxiway. And now I'm going to leave the airplane straight ahead here.
Welcome to Brussels.
Oh, hey GP.
It's a very short flight, and there is a new feature on FSiPanel 2020 Advanced Edition. On this scenario particularly, you might get up to 3 different approaches. So if you try again the same scenario, you might get another type of approach. So it is random, and there is up to 3 approaches on this scenario. Thank you for flying. Any comments? I'm very happy to get your comments on the Discord channel. Thank you guys, and see you next time for another scenario. Bye-bye.
Thank you, JP. Really nice scenario. Yeah, I will try one more time to see if I get a different approach. Not only to validate the application, but also to fly something different. Okay, I'm going to slow down here because I want to make sure I'm going to the right place. So maybe I can slow down here. Oh, I even stopped, but I'm going to take the Navigraph again and let's see where we are. I hate this, so we can do like here. Okay, we landed, vacated Charlie 4. We cross, this is Echo 3. Now we are taxiing on inner 9 and position 237. This one here on the corner. So inner 9 and 237. Let's take our airplane. Oh, we are already A-beam. Okay, so we need to go back to the sim and start turning inbound. Right on time. We don't see much here, but this is the line. Okay, now I see. I'm going to keep the taxi light on. We don't do in real life, but I'm going to keep the taxi light on. Oh my god, I don't know. Okay, this is the position. Okay, just by mistake. I don't know, I'm getting my speed brake instead of my brakes here. Okay, but brake is on. APU. Okay, now is on the bus. Lights off, and we can shut down both engines. Why the speed brake? Yeah, speed brake, this is the problem. I'm getting speed brakes. I always forget. Real life is much easier to turn on the lights. Seat belts off. Electric hydraulic pumps off. Packs, they are already auto, and open. APU bleed on. Anti-collision light off. Flight directors off. And transponder should be 2000 standby. Standby is enough. Here we go. Oh no, no GSX. I want my checklist. Wrong button. So shut down, not the procedure. Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps. We have one pump on. Probe heat is off. Hydraulic panel set. Flaps up. Parking brake is set for now. Engine start levers cut off. Weather radar, I forgot, is off. Shutdown checklist is complete. Okay, so let me see what do we have here. The next scenario I'm going to try, most probably even today. I think it's a nice time in Brazil, so this evening in Brazil I will come back. Let's see this LATAM 3910. It's called LATAM, but I do not have the Phoenix. I don't know how to fly an Airbus, so I'm going to do it with the 737-700 in this case, not the 800 that we have here. I'm going to select the 700, and I'm going to try to handle this scenario from São Paulo to Rio. And then that flight is fast. I got catch some snack after takeoff, and when I come back it's on final. Yeah, it was really fast, much faster than Rio São Paulo or São Paulo Rio. Yeah, we maintain 3,000 feet, 13,000 feet. I think in the São Paulo Rio scenario we can go even higher than this. 180 to should be 5 miles, not 50, right? Is too much for an aircraft, or are viable? I always use this speed. The guys reduced to VREF 10 miles from initial approach fix sometimes. Okay, I think, Arnom, you are saying 180 knots to 5 miles. That is a little bit too much. Okay, 160 to 4. It's something very common in Europe and pretty much mandatory in London or even in places like the Middle East. Okay, so it's very common to get 160 to 4. Why they say 160 to 4? This is an ICAO recommendation that you do not get any speed control inside 4 miles from the runway. So they are taking this to the maximum extent. They are taking this to the 4 miles, and something that most of the airplanes can do it is 160 to 4, so they really use that. So 160 to 4 on the 777, for example, you can even extend full flaps, even flaps 30. Yeah, for full flaps for the 777 is not a problem. Here on the 73, let's see, I do not remember, but for the 73 on the 800, as you can see, maximum speed for flaps 40 is 166. So yeah, you can even select flaps 40 with 160 on the 7.3, but is on the edges, on the limit. So most probably in these cases you are going to land flaps 30, or you are going to be at least with the flaps 30 there, flying 160 and then select reducing speed for approach speed and selecting flaps 40 just to cross 1000 feet stable. Okay, so I'm pretty sure on the on the 737-700 these speeds are even less, and let me search for it. So let me go here on the internet and use Google and set 737-700 flaps placard speeds. Okay, so what do we have here for the flaps? Do we have something? Images. Let me see if I can find images here for the 737-700 on this one. On this one I will tell you. So for the 700 flaps 40 maximum speed is 156. Okay, so it's 156. So definitely with the 737-700 you cannot extend the full flaps. Flaps 30 is 165 for the 700, and then if you need to maintain 160, even flaps 30 is not ideal. Okay, so what you do actually with these planes, you select, you go down to flaps 25, you maintain 160, and then when you are 4 miles you dial down the speed, you select your landing flaps, and you are going to reach your landing flap just above 1000 feet. You have around 200 feet for the traps to travel from 25 to 30 or 40. It is enough time, but it's on the edge. Okay, for the 777 once again, even 160 with full flap is not a problem, because flaps 30 maximum speed for the flaps is 180 knots. Okay, so this is not a problem for the 777, but yes, can be a problem for smaller airplanes. So basically what I see around the world is 180 to 10 is the most standard, sometimes 180 to 8, 180 to 7, and then 160 to 4. This is very standard in airports with a lot of traffic. Here in US that I am right now, like yesterday here in Chicago, ATC asked us 160 to final approach fix, which was 4.6 miles to the runway. Okay, so it was 170 until 4.8 miles to the runway, which is also doable. Actually 170 on the 777 is not a big deal, because you can land with flaps 25, and the maximum speed for flaps 25 is 200 knots, so you can maintain 170 until any place, because if you land with flaps 25 you are going to be like 30 knots from your maximum speed. Sometimes with flaps 30 and these 10 knots with variable winds and gusts, it can get really close, so I will not select 170 knots and flaps 30 on the 777. But then in that case, if I had to maintain 170 until really close to these 4 miles and then land with flaps 30, I was going to select for sure flaps 25, maintain that speed 170, as soon as I cross the point with the speed limit, dial down the speed and just select flaps 30. From 25 to 30 on the 777 is also really fast, very easy to do. And the landing checklist on the 777 is automatic. You just pop up the checklist. All the 3 items, they are sensed by the airplane, so the airplane knows the position for the speed brake, the position for the flaps, the position for the landing gear. So you pretty much open, say checklist complete, close, done. So it's very easy to do it on the 777. Then Canal Me Gusta RN, Captain, why we must set the engine on continuous mode on takeoff and landing? Me Gusta, this is because when we select to continuous, we have continuous ignition from the ignition system to the engines. So this is to prevent a flame out, and if a flame out occurs, it's going to be much easier to relight the engine with those engine start switches already in continuous, with the ignition system already working. Okay, so that's why you do it. Some airplanes, they go to continuous automatically when you select flaps, okay, but you still have the option to select continuous anyway, and as a normal procedure on the 7.3 we always do. I have to tell you that if you have a flame out in a situation like this, the 737, also the 777, the 787, they have an auto relight function, okay, so the pilot doesn't need to do anything. If it's just a flame out, that rarely occurs at this stage or at any stage into the flight. If it's just a flame out, that is an auto relight system that turns on automatically, and will most probably, what you are going to see in real life, it's a decrease in your thrust, and most probably this thrust coming back because you already had an auto relight. On the sim, sometimes they give this kind of failure to us, especially departing from São Paulo when I was in Go. So you have the engine failure, you set your mind to go to your engine out SID, and once you start looking to your problems, to your engine, both engines, they recover and you are flying normal again. Okay, my recommendation in that case is that you consider as an engine failure and come back to land. Maybe in this case configure for both engines if they are working, but I will not continue a flight with flame out after takeoff, because you don't know what happened. It can happen again. Yeah, so that's what we were trained in Go to do. And oh, it's because you're flying a Ryanair texture. Yeah, Ryanair livery. That's why I smashed the runway on touchdown. Yeah, that's a good reason to do an abrupt landing. Rubens Paiva, Commander, where can I find a tutorial to learn how to use FSiPanel training scenarios? Of course, if it's in Portuguese, better. Okay, I do not think that we have tutorial on FSiPanel related to training scenarios, but it's very easy. And actually, if you have FSiPanel advanced, you can open the training scenarios. I can do it with you. Just give me a moment. I'm going to set something here. This is the one that I want. I want to show this. Okay, so let's go to this. First, before I continue, let's see the landing report, another function of FSiPanel. Okay, so the landing report, oh my god, really bad. I see greens, amber and reds around. So the landing distance 353 meters was good. The deviation from center line was 6.4 miles right. Was an unsafe landing? Yes, it was not good. And touchdown rate of descent was minus 500 feet per minute, close to hard landing. Yeah, for sure not a very nice landing. Speed at touchdown 145, that one was good. The speed at touchdown should be our VREF of 144, and the bank angle less than 1 degree was good. Pitch at touchdown 2.8, and this is the problem. I didn't pitch up too much. The pitch at touchdown on the 7.3 should be around 4 degrees nose up. Okay, so I didn't flare the amount that was necessary for this landing, and I land with flaps 30, auto brake 3, autopilot disconnect height was at 550 feet. I should disconnect a little bit before to feel more the airplane. I crossed the threshold at 150 and it should be 149. Okay, so this 1 knot was the extra 1 knot that I got on touchdown as well. We crossed the threshold at 47 feet, which is good. So supposed to be at 50 feet, so just 3 feet below. Very nice. The maximum deviation from the localizer was 0.1 at 6.4 miles, so perfect. Maximum deviation for the glide slope was 0.5 dots below at 0.5 nautical miles. We are already flying visually towards the runway. Maximum rate of descent 752 feet per minute at 153 feet. I descended a little bit more at this stage. That's why we crossed this 3 feet high lower, and that's why I got also this close to hard landing. The speed at 1000 feet was 148, was supposed to be 149, and at 500 feet 150 was supposed to be 149. Okay, so everything very good apart from the landing flare. Okay, the next step is training scenario. Okay, so once you start your FSiPanel, you can go to training scenarios. Another thing that you can do, even without your flight simulator open, you can go to setup, and then here on scenarios you can open scenario manager, and here you have a list. So the greens is the one that I already installed. I try to download as much as I can, but let's say for example I want to do this cargo looks to 254 charter to Genova with English ATC. I select here and I do download scenario. It's going to download the scenario for me. So we have everything set. Now this scenario is on my sim. I can even select it and I can open lesson plan. Oh, there is even a SimBrief flight plan. So let's start with SimBrief flight plan. Let's see how it works. I didn't know about this one, so it already select my airplane 737-800. It created the route for me. Yeah, the route is here. So yeah, I can just generate the flight plan very easily. Okay, so the next step is the lesson plan. Here in the lesson plan is what you have to do to work with this scenario. Okay, so let me jump in here. So, oh, not cargo looks, this is Swiss 2254 charter from Zurich to Genova. So what do you need to know is that it's a 40-minute flight from Zurich, Switzerland to Genoa, Italy. Departure early in the morning with the autumn usual fog in the area. So you have fog in the area. Nevoeiro, tá? Nevoeiro na região. Weather in Zurich is good enough to return in case of engine failure. You are operating a Swiss charter flight to bring passengers to Genoa for their cruise to Sardinia. Okay, so just a brief information about it. Then the initial setup. What you have to do to fly this? So you are going to depart from Zurich runway 28, and this is something that I would change if I was JP, because I noticed that some people, they are positioning the airport in Zurich runway 28 as this example, but in many other scenarios they are selecting the runway that they are going to take off. Okay, so that's the wrong thing to do. The only thing that you need to pay attention is that your initial position is at gate Alpha 11 to Alpha 17 on the dock Alpha, on the terminal Alpha. Okay, so you have to select any gate from Alpha 11 to Alpha 17 to start your scenario. Do not start on the runway. So take your airplane, go there, Alpha 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or 17. Okay, on the weather preset on your flight sim, you have to select cargo looks to 254 and set the time to 7:30 a.m. local time, so you have a very realistic flight like this. Okay, so once you selected this, here you have a lot of information, but what is the procedure? So you start MSFS in gate Alpha 11 to 17, set the preset and the time to 7:30. So then you make sure the aircraft is powered, engines off, okay, power engine off. Then you start the FSiPanel at this stage. So if you had it started before, close FSiPanel and start it again. Select and start the scenario. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to come here on this one. So sorry, you are going to come here on training scenarios, and then you are going to see that, for example, if you are at the right place, the one that is available is going to be green. Okay, so in this case the 30 here, Swiss 2254 would be green. You select this one, and then the start training would be here ready for you to start. Okay, so you select start training, and then very simple, do not interfere with the cockpit setup until you get first ATC clearance. Check tips and notes on the following pages if you want to, and have fun. Okay, so basically set the airplane where it says for you to do it. Select the preset for the weather that is consistent with this flight, and in this case this is the first time that I see it asking you to set a time of the day. Okay, so once you are at this place, you take their fly now, ready to fly. Then you make sure your airplane is powered, which means you have APU or GPU connected and the engines are off. Once you did everything, this is the sim setup. Open FSiPanel, select the scenario, start the scenario, and then the FSiPanel is going to do everything to you and will give you a pop-up message saying you are ready to go with your first clearance. Okay, so it's not a big deal. And on this scenario from São Paulo to Rio, I'm going to do the live broadcast in Portuguese tonight. Okay, let me see what time is it now. What time is it now in Brasilia? This is 6:30. Let's see us again around 7:30. In 1 hour from now, I will prepare everything here and I will do this live broadcast then in Portuguese, and I'm going to go with you step by step. Okay, so I'm going to show everything on the Microsoft Flight Simulator itself. The only thing I already do, and I do recommend you to do it, okay, is that you go to Scenario Manager, and in this case is the 737-700, and I already downloaded this one. Okay, so 3910. So if you do not have, come here and take download scenario, and the next time we are going to start from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just open the lesson plan for this one, so you are going to see me doing these steps later on. I'm going to start Flight Simulator in gate 5 to 11. The preset weather is TAM 3910. Airplane with APU, engines off. Then I start FSiPanel, I select the scenario, start the scenario, and we start flying. Okay, very easy. That's how we have to do it. Okay, so this is the basics for the FSiPanel, and I'm going to do it in Portuguese with you at 7:30 in 1 hour from now. Okay, the best teacher of the world, the book is on the table. Thanks, good life for you. Obrigado, Flavião, melhoras aí pra você. Espero que você esteja se sentindo melhor hoje aí. Qualquer coisa, dá um toque. Galera, então daqui 1 hora, 7h30, eu volto com esse voo 737-700 entre São Paulo e Rio com o FSiPanel, beleza? Vou botar de dia, vou botar horário de dia para que a gente possa ver bem a paisagem lá no Rio, tá? Rubens 5 says, okay, thank you, excellent. I came back at 7:30 today. Thank you so much, Rubens. Thank you so much, guys. See you in 1 hour from now. Bye bye.